Hello and welcome to Ashley Haden's Political Breakdown. Another episode. This is a show where me and some guests talk about the week's news and just try not to get too sad, really. It's been another week. So this week my guests are...
Jonny Gillam.
And...
Pete Cadden.
Yes, Pete, who does all of the tech and everything to make it look good. He's here. That says just how well... me finding guests is at the moment. So let's start with the election that we've been started now. Fuck me, it's going to be a long, long 6 weeks, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like it's also made the news more boring, which is traditionally a good thing. Because exciting news is terrible things happening in the world. But it just means that like everything that people say is more sort of structured.
Yeah.
So I've got to wait 2 days for Joe Swinson to say anything. And it's like, you know, my coffee break's not going to last that long. I need something.
Well, this is where we are. So far, Lib Dems lying out their holes. Joe Swinson said there's no difference between the Tories and Labour on Brexit. They're going, well, that's fundamentally just a lie there. If you actually believe that, then I worry that you're in politics. Because if you think that the Tories and the Labour, they have both the same views on Brexit, you haven't been listening for the past fucking 3 years.
It's also a weird pitch to be like, if you don't like anything about the Tories, vote Lib Dem, because we've got such a great history of being completely different to the Tories.
Yeah, and we've got no Tory ex-MPs. It's absolutely fine.
Has it not kind of gone from two parties telling kind of lies to every party now laying out their ass for the next...
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Tories this week, they edited a video of Keir Starmer on Good Morning Britain to make it look like he didn't know what he was talking about and he was stumped by some of Piers Morgan's questioning. Which
is inherently not believable that anyone could be stumped by Piers Morgan.
Oh, exactly. And so you're getting to a point now where the next 6 weeks is just going to be lies. Lies, racism, anti-Semitism, and the occasional someone saying, let's put some money into education.
Keep calm and carry on.
Has there ever been a time that either of you two can remember that we've had such a selection of awfulness?
Well, I'm new to the politics game, really. Like, I always assumed it was this awful. This is only really building up to this.
I cannot remember a time where there is literally no silver lining. You are just picking which cancer you want and just hoping that you get the one with the least amount of rectal bleeding.
The best
Testicular.
options.
That's the best cancer.
Is it?
Yeah, because it's easier to deal with.
Just remove one.
Yeah, as long as you catch it early enough. I know, I'm taking your response very literally.
I mean, now we ask, what political party is tantamount to testicular cancer?
Easiest to get rid of, and as long as you catch it early enough, doesn't do very much damage.
And can easily be replaced by something plastic.
Or cork, so it floats in the bath. Change UK.
See, they are still about, aren't they? And
are they still called Change UK, or are they the
No,
independent group for change?
Because
someone pointed out that Change UK, the initials are cuck, which made...
Oh, that was beautiful. I don't think that they're about anymore. They must be under a different guise. It's like the independent group of changing, and for UK, and fucking I had one but the wheel fell off. Rolled down the hill, vote for us. There's only 3 of us and we're unhappy.
Well, because here's the meeting that had to happen in Change UK HQ. Are we really for change if our party name stays the same? No. It has to be a constant shifting of unknowable quantities.
It's
What do you want? Change. In what direction? I'm not going to be pinned down on that one.
Don't pigeonhole us.
The only people worth voting for at the moment seems to be the Green Party, and at that point you are just chucking away your vote. You may as well just wipe your arse with it.
I know what you mean, but
I think the Green Party would, if they got into power, would ruin their reputation for good. Do you know, they'd have one chance at it, and you think Corbyn's getting it in the year right now that everyone would be on the Green Party?
Yeah. Yeah, although everyone should be going after Corbyn at the moment. The Labour Party, it's just, every day there's a new story about anti-Semitism in the Labour Party. It is fucking impressive that they have that many people to constantly, every day, find someone. Like, we've got this. Gideon Ball was a Labour candidate and has had to stand down from his prospective seat in Clacton over allegations of anti-Semitism after it was alleged that he called a Jewish cabinet member Shylock, which is a reference to the Jewish money-lending character in The Merchant of Venice. I mean, at least he's fucking... I mean, that is some fucking... classical liberal.
I like how you looked at me after you said from The Merchant of Venice, Jonny.
Yeah.
See, you're learning on the podcast.
Wasn't there another one that mentioned final solution, then claimed they didn't know the connotation of the words final solution?
There was also a story today. There was a Labour minister and like his second were on a bus after a night out. And they changed the words from to "Hey Jude" to "Hey Jew."
Wait,
It's not even good.
why are a minister like? So they still have to get the night bus after they go out drinking. They can't spring for an Addison Lee.
I mean, that is for the people, isn't it? You know. Going along, should we get the night bus? Yeah, should we chant anti-Semitism? Yeah.
Writing for the many, not the few, in the steamed up window. It's like, there we go. That's my campaigning done for the week.
Jewish Chronicle this week, front page, was all about asking people to not vote for Jeremy Corbyn because of the anti-Semitism. Now,
there's far better reasons not to vote for him.
Yeah, well, my question is, if Jews are saying this, given a higher chance of Tories coming in, is there an argument to be made that we're now just picking what racism we prefer? Because we have to remember that Tories massively have an issue with Islamophobia. Big issues. Hopefully soon, the EHRC or who's ever currently looking into Labour's anti-Semitism problem, to look into the Tories' Islamophobia problem. So are we just now going, right, what do you want? Do you want anti-Semitism or do you want Islamophobia? Which one's more important to you? Do you like Jews or do you like Muslims?
It does seem like a branding thing. You know, it's like they're not branding, but the splitting of demographics via racism.
Well, this is the thing, because everyone's making it sound like it's so easy just to go, don't vote for Labour because they're anti-Semitic, which is quite right.
Yeah, but then, like, 'cause it's difficult to figure out. I live in Walthamstow. My MP's Stella Creasy does a lot of good sort of backbench work for, refugees and for abortion in Northern Ireland and things like that. It seems unfair that she should be out of a job because of a local councillor on like a bus or something.
Yeah. Oh, no, exactly. And so then you get to a point that, are you voting, and do you ever vote for your MP, or do you only vote for the party?
How much is the personality of the leader or the image of the party currently the real thing people are voting for?
Yeah. Or are you voting just for your local MP?
I think people have probably lost faith in policies anyway. So how many of them are seen through to the end, realistically?
Oh,
I'd love to see someone run on that on that sort of ticket. We're putting an end to policies.
Yeah.
From now on, it's just good people doing good things.
We're going to bring Pokemon to the refugees.
Well, I mean, you make a valid point with regards to that. The idea that we're at a point where no one fucking any manifesto is basically a big old book of lies that are there in some form of almost like a first date. That's all. I mean, a manifesto is basically like a Tinder profile. You're just trying to capture as many people until you end up going out with them and realise that they're actually a sociopath.
You're saying they're taller than they are.
Yeah. Never been a problem for me. Always say I'm short.
And temperament.
Yeah. But like this, with regards to the manifesto, this is the point I was getting to. The 2015 Conservative Party manifesto. They said that they were going to be building homes exclusively to be sold to first-time buyers. It was for the under 40s to help people get onto the property ladder. They put aside in the first spending budget £2.3 billion for this. They have built none in 10 years.
Yeah, but you know what builders are like.
But I mean, this is the amount of money, £2.3 billion for this fucking grandiose idea that people voted on them for. And this is what I don't get when if we go to Brexit and everything else. We say, well, they voted for this. This is what was said. And this is it. They go. So all of a sudden, you give a fuck about what people's opinions are. That they stick to their truths. However, every time that a pissing knobhead of a politician goes, oh, we're going to do this and we're going to do this in our manifesto, and people actually vote on people on their manifesto, and they lie and don't do a single fucking thing, that's okay. We allow that.
Yeah.
There's apathy to that now. I think there's so much of it people have given up.
But I mean, if
so you might be right about no policies.
Listen, if you want to be apathetic, go and die. Literally, kill yourself, because what's the fucking point?
This is the political breakdown, and we advise you kill yourself.
yeah. Go Clinton yourself, like Jeffrey Epstein. The money that they were given for building those houses, was there even an excuse for why it wasn't spent yet?
They, of course, they've said that we have built some houses on a different aspect. Because a lot of the money was spent on getting the property, getting the land, and then some of it was done on other houses that were some of the houses that they did build were affordable homes. But then even if you have a look at what they consider affordable homes, they're not actually affordable to anyone with money.
There was a thing during the last London mayoral election where basically all the candidates are saying more affordable housing. But then you actually, when you look into the detail of it Zach Goldsmith's campaign, affordable meant it was based on what was current market price, i.e. what money that no one has.
Yeah, and it was
nothing to do with anyone's income.
Was it something like 20% lower than market value? Or what current market price is? Because that's what they tend to do when they say affordable housing. Go, it's 20% lower than, say, what the average is. You go, no one can afford the fucking average. No one can afford 20% less than it. Mate.
That's the same discount you get on, like a grab bag of Monster Munch.
Yeah.
20% extra free.
Yeah, and when you open it, you realise you don't get any fucking more Monster Munch. Just a bigger bag.
Yeah, that's what I want the election to come down to. The Monster Munch election.
I would love an MP to come out and say we're going to make Freddos cheaper.
That would work.
I'm going to full inquiry into why Cadbury's cream eggs have got smaller as well.
Your hands have got bigger.
That explains so much.
The affordable housing, they probably have, for people in areas that they want to do it in, they probably have come against pushback because, like, in terms of property values and stuff of the surrounding area. You know, would they? I think they.
Yeah, but this is
buy the
fucking
land. Why is it still not on the radar? Are they
this
still
is
talking about doing it?
10 years. Tell me you can't build one house in 10 years with £2.3 billion. You give me £2.3 billion, in 10 years I'll build a house by fucking hand.
Of money.
Oh, yeah. Shit, you could have just done right. How much is this house worth? More than 2.3 billion, because that's how the fucking property market is now.
Yeah, I think London's not a city anyone's ever going to be able to afford.
Yeah, but this is all over the fucking country. This isn't just London. The idea of building in London is ridiculous, because we're only going to build higher, going to make London uglier as we go along. And so this is the entire length and breadth of England where they haven't been able to build a single fucking house. Pigs built houses in stories. They can fucking come on.
I don't think. Look, I'm not a supporter of the government, but I don't think something happened in a 19th century children's fable should make it more easy for the government to do.
Build them out of sticks. Do something.
The rules of Parliament are that old.
There has to be something.
I'm just
Why
surprised.
don't the government make soldiers out of gingerbread and save the lives of our boys?
I just don't know how there hasn't been more uproar or like any pandering to this. Like they didn't even care when it came out.
Well, this is the thing. You've got fucking Labour, who the most useless party you'll ever see. That I've never seen anyone miss so many open goals. You'd sub them off.
There's a certain element that Corbyn has been under a lot of scrutiny from media. Like he hasn't had the fairest crack of the whip.
I mean, he's been the leader of Labour for 4 years, and he's achieved
Not
nothing.
One house.
I mean, fucking hell. He has achieved nothing as there. He hasn't taken anything out of Tories. You talk about the 2017 election, going, well, they went from a majority to a minority. Yeah, fucking in spite of you, though. It wasn't because of you, and you still fucking lost.
Yeah, because 2017, there was a lot of terror in 2017. Do you remember?
Yeah.
There was like 3 terror attacks in the first 3 months of the year, and then a skyscraper burnt down.
Yeah.
Like everything was really going to shit.
On the fucking Grenfell, I spoke about Grenfell last week. The government have placed Ryden, which was one of the main contractors, on the cladding, on the recladding of Grenfell Tower, which was the cladding that set it on fire so wonderfully. They've been put on a list of official list of firms recommended to build high-rises by the government. I mean...
Yeah, but how likely are they to make that mistake twice?
But you wouldn't. Why would you trust them?
But isn't the cladding still on thousands of buildings?
Over 200 high-rise buildings still have that cladding that the government has done sweet fuck all about. I can't consider why anyone would vote for this government. I mean, I'm not saying to vote for Labour, and I'd never tell fucking all Lib Dems, all the Greens, fucking, but Tories above all of them. I was speaking to someone yesterday who was like, Corbyn, I don't like Corbyn. It was a fucking Daily Mail reading, you know the type, going, well, you can't say anything anymore, can you? Yes, you can say fucking everything, as long as it's not racist, sexist, and homophobic.
And you can, and become Prime Minister.
Yeah. Well, that's it. You can't say anything anymore. Like, why does everyone seem to be able to then? And get famous. You had fucking Jacob Rees-Mogg this week saying that Grenfell survivors, the dead, the victims of Grenfell should have had fucking more common sense and just walked through fire.
Well, we have differing opinions on this. We chatted about it earlier. I think he's definitely a lot cleverer than he looks.
I think that anyone who's...
It's not very hard.
Yeah, yeah. But I think he's more like an agent provocateur. He's doing things deliberately to distract.
I think he's doing it because he has the same compassion of a gang rape. I think he is a fucking vile human being. I think there is nothing about him that even comes close to caring about another human being. I cannot consider a man like that has been brought up with such privilege. He's the type of man that would walk past a homeless person and say, well, you've probably done something to deserve that.
Glenn Hoddle.
Oh, yeah.
I was years ago, before Jacob Rees-Mogg had rose to such prominence.
Yeah.
It was before 2016. It was an innocent time. Remember back then when only
halcyon
most
days.
things were fucked? And it was a documentary presented by Andrew Neil about class. Because Andrew Neil's like from a working class background. He's now Andrew Neil.
Yeah.
He interviews Jacob Rees-Mogg, and he says, "Do you think there's any kind of element of like class, like this? There shouldn't be such an emphasis on upper middle class people like yourself being in Parliament." And Jacob Rees-Mogg said, "No, I'm a man of the people. Vox populi, vox Dei."
Oh.
He was interviewed on Ali G in 1999, and Ali G kept introducing him as Lord Rees-Mogg, and he stopped him. Let me stop you there. It's my father that's the Lord. I'm a commoner like you.
I don't think he's intelligent at all. I think
well,
that
maybe more so being told to go and do these things.
Well, with people like Boris Johnson, with Jacob Rees-Mogg, with all of these posh cunts who have the voices, I think like working class, you've got working class accent, you need to prove you're intelligent. Every day you need to prove you're smart. With upper class accents, you need to prove you're thick as shit. And even if you prove it, everyone's still going to go, he's probably not, he's probably playing it like some fucking Moriarty at the background, Machiavellian playing these tricks, going along, going, well, if only the Grenfell victims walked through, have they not watched fucking Die Hard? You can walk through fire.
I watched every episode of London's Burning in the 90s. And I know a thing or two about fire.
Desmond's was my favourite sitcom.
It's just like, I mean, it's the idea that all the floods we've got up north at the moment, fucking Jacob Rees-Mogg would be there with his wellies on going, well, I'm going to go for a fucking swim.
Well, Jacob Rees-Mogg is very surprised because he's like, why is it flooding up north? Because, as we all know, because it's higher, so it should come down to the south.
Trickle-down economics. See, yesterday he was wearing his poppy around his navel. It was quite low. It was around his belly button that he just had it on. So I think Twitter went a bit wild with it.
That's interesting. Because where is the poppy meant to go? Because I see it on the side of trains.
Yeah, I suppose people take umbrage to the American flag being on trainers and things. You know, it shouldn't be like that. I've heard that said. So maybe it shouldn't. If the poppy should remain the poppy rather than a advertisement.
I showed you the
walking poppy.
Yeah, there was minute silence all across the sport, all football games and everything. And one of them, for minute silence, they brought out a poppy mascot. Walking along, a massive fucking poppy with legs, just strolling along.
Does it have a face?
No.
That's worse in a way.
A fucking sentient poppy. This is what we got here. A sentient poppy walking along, going to bow its fucking head for a minute's silence to commemorate the dead. The dead, if they could turn in their graves, they would do at this point. Every war that we've ever had, all died in vain, because this is where we are now. We've got a fucking sentient poppy with his head down before some millionaires kick a ball. Fuck off. We might as well just dig up the fucking everyone who died in all wars and use them as some form of big old weekend at Bernie's. Just using them for anything that we fucking want to. No more actors, all films just done by dead soldiers. We hang them up like fucking puppets. We move them along. The next fucking Expendables, the Expendables 4, every old cunt, or whatever it's going to be called. And we just use the soldiers and we use them as puppets.
That would be more expensive than using people.
Oh, you don't have to pay them, do you?
You've got to pay the puppeteers. That's a harder job than
there you go, putting the Gurkhas out of work again.
I remember I used to work for the Edinburgh Tattoo as like an usher, the big military parade in Edinburgh. And I was watching the rehearsals, and there's a bit where the God Save the Queen plays, and I don't stand for God Save the Queen because I reject nationalism. The monarchy, and a song whose secret fourth verse is "Rebellious Scots, the Crush, God Save the Queen." It's not in the official song anymore, but because official songs just like so many verses.
Yes,
but it is the secret verse that they all sing at parties.
That's the one that the Queen whispers to herself at the end.
She has it tattooed on her inner thigh.
But like, I was told off. Someone went, stand. I was like, okay, I'm not going to make a thing of this.
Did you take a knee?
No, I it was before that was in the zeitgeist. But I was standing and I noticed one of the things they had that year was Warhorse from the West End play, like the big mechanical like wooden puppet horse. It really looks really good, looks really real, for a wooden horse.
Yeah.
But Warhorse is still like being puppeteered during the national anthem. So the guy inside it like making its ears twitch and like making its like arse wiggle, and it's like, oh, so the horse is standing even though the people are puppeteering a wooden horse.
Yeah, they're probably foreign workers though.
Yeah, well, I don't get God Save the Queen. Like, I mean, you're Irish, you're Scottish. I don't expect either of you to be massive fans of God Save the Queen.
What Queen do you speak of?
Exactly, yeah. But for me, like, I'm nowhere near a fucking monarchist. So what we're doing, and I'm an atheist as well. So for me, God Save the Queen is asking something I don't believe in to save something I don't believe in. They go, well, why am I there fucking singing this? We have so many better songs that can be national anthems.
Go
Fucking
on.
Jerusalem, if you want to. Royal Britannia, for fuck's sake. Anything by Queen.
Which did your brain think of Queen as a band because it's similar to God Save the Queen?
Oh, I mean, no. It's just they've got anthems, mate. That's why I was thinking of
I
that.
would like to choose one of the lesser Queen songs as a national anthem, just because I think it would be better.
Who Wants to Live Forever?
From the movie Highlander.
Yeah, that would be my go. Or Flash Gordon.
I'll stand. Everyone else go. It's quite. Here's the thing with a national anthem, and here's why Queen wouldn't work. You have to have quite a limited range for a national anthem because everyone needs to sing it. Like Freddie Mercury, he hits those high notes that most people. Oasis, fine, but like Queen, it's very complicated to sing.
I mean, fucking Oasis would be it, though, wouldn't it? Just a fucking because it does the right amount of nostalgia and tedium.
It's my Wonder War.
Right, let's go on to
Songbird, the Liam Gallagher pen song.
Right, let's go on to stories that you used to have.
Let me start with something frivolous.
I want to say thank you very much for looking at your phone when you're doing it. You know.
Yeah, no problem.
And how many of these have you watched?
Natalia Grace Barnett. What do you know about her? The alleged 16-year-old girl, adopted girl from the Ukraine in the US that was adopted as a teenager and then abandoned by the American family because they thought that she was a 30-year-old woman trying to kill them.
Nothing, but I like it.
So for a year, first they put her in a mental institution, said that she's not a teenager, she's full-grown teeth, having periods, trying to kill us, poison us. Waking up and she's sitting at the bed for a bit. Adult teeth, her teeth hadn't fallen out, sort of thing. I think she was 12 when she first came. And they pissed off
I love the foresight, because I don't worry about bills until I get the letter through. I should have lost some teeth by now.
I just lost an arm wrestle to her. I'm not sure this is...
Who loses their teeth at 12? Children don't lose their teeth at 12. Your child's
it's
teeth.
7 and 8, isn't it?
Yeah.
So she would have been after. Yeah, that doesn't even make sense. But they claimed that she had molars or something.
She had wisdom teeth.
They put her in a mental institution in America. They cleared her, handed her back to the family, who then promptly fucked off to Canada, left her as a 12-year-old by herself, or maybe even. Shit, I should get my phone out, shouldn't I?
I mean, it's a very interesting story. I wish you had more information on it. I'll be honest.
Left her as an 8-year-old to fend for herself on canned food for a year.
So far in this story, she's gone from fucking 16 down to 8.
Where we're going, we don't need roads. She was a lot younger. She was 8 years old when they left her. She's 16 now. She claims. I don't. The jury's out on her really. But she was adopted by their neighbours then, and they've raised her. So this family in America, they're wanted in a court case in America, but they're in Canada now, living it up with their legitimate children and no.
Is their claim? So their claim is twofold. One, she's older than she says she is.
Yes.
And furthermore,
tried to kill them.
She's a murderer.
Yeah. The girl claims that it was an accident when cleaning, with bleach or something, and they assumed it was her trying to murder them, and then she claimed that, or the family claimed that she told them that she was planning to stab them in their sleep and stuff, which she denies.
And she was 8 years old when she went there, and they thought she was a 30-year-old.
Yeah, she had dwarfism.
But 30-year-old short people don't look like children.
No.
Exactly, yeah. That was the family. One of the family's excuses was that she hasn't grown an inch, even though that, as a child of dwarfism, you're supposed to grow some anyway. So that was one of their arguments. But apparently, from my extended research into the topic,
I mean, yeah.
The last thing we've heard about is that she's doing interviews in America, currently living with another adopted family, and this other family are buffoons. waiting for a court case.
What are they like the original family? Are they wealthy? What would be her motive for?
Well, they rented an apartment for an 8-year-old for a full year and left her in it. So they had enough money to do that and migrated to Canada. So seems like a bit of an excuse on their behalf.
Like the Eastern Europe version of Batilda.
Yeah. It sounds very like it, doesn't it?
On a side note with regards to this, have you ever seen Child Skull? Child Skull. It's one of the creepiest things in the world.
When did you see a child's skull?
I mean, when I've seen a child's skull is my business, and my business alone. But it's creepy because I've got.
Yeah, it was gauche to ask.
They've got the adult teeth all around there. And
like ready to.
Yeah,
like a cat's claws.
Yeah, one of the creepiest things you'll ever see in your life.
It hasn't come up yet.
Yeah.
It's still in the jaw.
Yeah.
Right.
Gives you
Okay.
So what you're creeped out by when you see a child's skull is not the implications of child death, but just the way their teeth are.
I mean,
I couldn't dismember the other three after seeing it. It threw me off the game.
I mean, I'll be honest. I've done enough research and enough jokes on children dying that's not going to be the bit that gets me.
Fair play.
I've done enough research on fucking child suicide bombers that I'm not going to be like, oh, child's dead. Yeah. It doesn't really affect, but their skulls, however, creepy as fuck.
Remind me to dodge that one next time I'm offered.
When you say they left her to subsist of canned food,
yeah,
did they leave her to fend for herself and she chose canned food, or did they specify you must only eat canned food?
My paper's telling me that they left canned food for her, yeah. For a
A
full
year's
year.
worth. That's
An 8-year-old. I don't understand how an 8-year-old survived for a year. So that would lead me to believe the family, but it's just a bit of a strange story. I think you can surely you can carbon date people in some way. Check their.
Oh yeah, cut off a leg and count the rings. And that's the way, isn't it?
But there must be some way, bones or something, no? Blood.
Yeah. You can have a guess on ages a lot of the time. I mean, mainly you can just have a conversation with them and go like, "How's life?" If they go,
"What?
Okay, honestly,
you capitalist swine."
You got a new story?
Yeah, I've been thinking about is it Chloe? Is it Swarbrick? She's a New Zealand Green MP. She's the one that said "Okay, Boomer." Did you follow the story?
Oh yes.
And it's just I mean, in of itself, it's not an interesting story. Someone was saying something.
Thanks for bringing it.
She dismissed it, but I think what it relates to is interesting.
You put a lot of pressure on your guest, Ashley.
Yes.
We sat here
You keep
in
going. You're doing fine.
Twin Peaks. Because the concept of generations is like a generation having this particular character.
Yeah.
It's an idea invented in the 90s by two writers called... It's Neil Howe and William Strauss. They wrote a book called Generations. Because originally their work was on like...
Neil Strauss, he wrote the book about picking up women, didn't he?
William Strauss, not Neil Strauss. Here's how you deal with Gen X. Neg 'em. But
push-pull technique.
And so like they believe like okay, so something happens in society. There's a crisis which leads to less individualism and more like trust for institutions to get through the crisis. Then about 20 years later, that creates the institutions become stuffy. People feel conformed by them, so that creates a sort of rise of individualism. Then that creates like a sort of slow collapse of that as the sort of decadence of that starts to make things bad. They would argue we're in that now, and then there's another crisis and so on. But and like journalists and politicians have started actually using this idea as a method of analyzing society. Here's what baby boomers are like. Here's what millennials are like. But the book came out, and all of academia said, it's a really well-written book. It's like fascinating to read. The argument is terrible. It's unfalsifiable. They've got no evidence to show it. They just kind of look at pop culture and be like, oh, that's a lot like the Beatles. It's like, that's not how a society actually functions.
So they only really identified teenagers 50 years ago or something, didn't they? 50s,
yeah.
50s or 60s.
And it's like, so anytime we're talking about that, you're not talking about things that actually matter, like class and race and things like that. The idea, it's just a new fake system of categorizing people that has no real political basis whatsoever. It mainly affects pop culture and nothing else.
Yeah. Most of the millennial thing is just having the internet, isn't it?
Is that the thing?
Pre-internet is like the start of millennials were like the start of the digital age, wasn't it?
Well, the millennials, because I'm a millennial, and it's
I scraped in.
like 84 to 2002 or something like that. That's the range of millennials. But I mean, you're right. All of this stuff, utterly made up. It's bullshit. But I think, I mean, you could argue that, like, class. I always think the same with class. That class is something that we were told about and then stuck with. Like, well, you're lower, you're lesser, you're the working class, and you're the thing, and I'm the upper class, and you stay there. In there.
Even British surnames or English language surnames lead into it, don't they? Smith.
Yeah.
But there is a thing, I can't remember what the number is, which is a shame because the number is essential to my argument. But it's something like the top 10 richest families in England are all in the Doomsday Book, which was written in 1066. Like, that was the census that William the Conqueror did. and the richest families of Britain are all in that, which kind of suggests that it does have some objective purpose. Like, how much money you have does... Like, that sticks around until you get some one mad uncle who spends it all on, like, booze and art. And then it's like, okay, well, now guess we're starting at the bottom again. It's
something like 17% still of the land in the UK we do not know who owns because they've never had to register it because they've never sold it. And so they've had the land for so long that they just own the land, but... they've never sold it, so it's never gone through any papers.
But then, can I not just say, I own that land, I'd like to sell it?
Well, no, because they will have the papers.
Oh, somewhere.
They'll have the deeds themselves, but because they've never sold it, and it's not in any public register.
You have to read them with rubber gloves and tweezers. They're about to fall apart.
Well, because there was a study done a few months ago. I brought it up on one of these... It's something stupid, like fucking 5% of the richest people own 80% of all the land. Stupid shit like this. It's mad figures that shows us the idea of an equal society is so far away that we'll arguably never get there unless we have some form of 1500s slaves fighting fucking peasants going after the lord type of aspect. Because until such time, and of course I do not condone violence, don't kill anyone.
Ashley doesn't speak for me.
But until we get to such a point where you've taken the land away from the gentry, you're never going to find inequality, are you? I mean, equality.
The clues are everywhere, really. Like, your national animal is a lion.
Yeah.
Like, it's
fucking, I love that one.
Scotland's national animal is a unicorn, to be fair.
Yeah, but that's... Yeah, but, I mean, yeah, but that... I respect. Wales is a fucking dragon. They're going, yeah, well done to you two, going, a lion. I mean, are you sure, though? Are you sure a lion? Because they're lazy as fuck.
Oh, why would England pick the national anthem of an animal that lies around doing nothing while the other animals bring it food?
Sleep fucking 20 hours a day, kill one thing, fuck off. With lions, it's the women who do the hunting as well, because it's the man's there to protect the pack.
Yep.
So yeah.
Ashley Haden's Lion Breakdown. Every week you discuss a different aspect of lion society.
I mean, it'll be more fucking useful than going over the fucking week's news and realising that it's all gone to shit.
No one asked you to do this.
I know. It's very much a fucking... I've screwed myself over, I'll be honest. I should be doing puns. I'll be honest with you. I should be walking on stage every time I do a gig and say, listen, I mean, men and women, aren't they different?
I want you to do puns, but in the same style you do your current material.
Just shouting puns.
Angry. And, like, tortured by it.
This is an interesting story. This week, there has been a massive data leak from a white supremacist message board, Iron March. It is a now defunct neo-Nazi white supremacist message board.
Why is every white supremacist organization got a name like it was thought of by an edgy 12-year-old boy? Iron March.
Because they have been. Because they haven't evolved.
This is the white supremacist board, Big Dick McIronclad.
But what's interesting, like,
Gun that's also a sword.
they're all on the Internet Archive now. So you can go through, you can see all of the email addresses of everyone who's ever fucking signed up. You can see all of their messages and everything else.
I bet their email addresses are rife with underscores.
Oh, God, right. And you fucking numbers, underscores. That's all it's going to fucking
Well,
say.
it'll be... I can think of particular numbers, like 14 and 88.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I heard rumours that, don't know if you know the old radio show in New York, Opie and Anthony. Anthony Cumia is apparently on that list.
Yeah? I mean, this is going to be... There are going to be people that I know on that list. I'm quite sure I could go...
What, was it a forum? Or what was the thing leaked?
Everything. It was the entire SQL database.
So it was like a forum or something, and everything.
Yeah, it was just a massive message board.
So you have all their posts as well.
Yeah, you have all of their posts. You have all of the registrations, all of the emails.
How far back does it go?
All time.
Oh, so it's like you'll have like when people were doing like ASCII,
Yeah,
like drawings of shit.
just
Bad smileys that no longer exist.
I mean, it's fascinating to have a look at, and because the message board has been linked to the Atomwaffen Division, which is a violent neo-Nazi group, and has also been widely studied by anti-extremist groups and researchers. So if you go on to like Bellingcat, and Bellingcat are fantastic. The Bellingcat is open source investigations. They do incredible work. They've shown that Assad used chemical weapons on his own people when he claims that he didn't. They've shown they show all of their working, all of the evidence that they have, and other people get involved. Open source. That, for me, it's one of the best things on the internet.
Bellingcat.
Yeah.
We'll link that up later because I need sites like that.
It's incredible. I do a lot of my research going through that. Oh no. But I mean, it's going to be very interesting for people to just have a look through, because we're going to get. You've already seen one person. Journalists actually picked that up. It's going to be fun to see who's on there.
But see it like, did you see the girl that leaked the journalist talking about the Epstein Prince Andrew case?
Yes.
And then she moved jobs from ABC to CBS, and CBS fired her. So ABC just gave them a call and goes, right, we need this buried, and she got sacked. She claims she didn't leak it now, so it's still up in the air. That I don't think the media are going to go too heavy on that unless it suits them against Trump or something over there.
Well, this is the thing. That was the reporter saying, like, we had this story 3 years ago.
Yeah, but everyone had it 3 years ago. That was after his sweetheart deal.
Yeah.
So it was in the papers in 2008 or something, I think.
Are we going to learn more on Epstein, do you think? Is this going to be... Because if a story does get big enough, there isn't anyone in this world, no matter how powerful, will be able to stop it.
Well, see, the Queen has diplomatic immunity globally, but Andrew doesn't. And all those files that the FBI have are now in Trump's hands. So he gets to he'll use that as a bargaining chip.
Oh, God, he's going to get away with it, isn't he?
Yeah,
Wait, so... The political leader most of accused of rape in the world is going to be awful shame if people knew about your sexual history.
It pretty much is like that. Like he knew Epstein as well, but I think he just wasn't as deep involved in it. I think the real story is Epstein was a money launderer and all that sort of crime, but they're going to just throw him down as a paedophile now and try and bury it.
I mean, they're probably the reason why Trump was involved, because Epstein could never get his fucking daughter there. Yeah, but with the Epstein stuff, like that's if people actually look at the story, then we'll find out something about it. If it is just on the precipice and just never really in the front of everyone's mind, it will go.
Yeah, the only thing you have now is a meme.
Oh God, fucking meme culture can go blow out its hole.
But
Tedious wank.
even like I think Tool, the band, had their VIP pass was something like Epstein Suicide Watch. I think it's become the new Jimmy Hoffa of our generation.
I mean, we do everything that we possibly can to make sure that no one ever comes to justice. Because we just try to. I mean, not even making jokes about it. I'm all for fucking making jokes about awful things, but we never follow through with it. Like, it's just going to be, we're going to do some jokes. We're going to claim that we're edgy because we're talking about this stuff, and then fuck all's going to come of it. Absolutely fuck all.
Where does the blame really lie when we know the media is bought, but we still just accept that? Like, once the media stop talking about it, we just kind of go, right, that's it, passed.
Oh, it's the media as a whole. I don't think is bought. I do not think that everywhere in media. I have to believe there's truth somewhere.
Yeah, it's probably a bargaining table. You know, these 3 stories are real. Those 5 stories are not. I want to leak one of these. It's all right. You have to push these other 3 bullshit ones. For owners of media, not for the journalists themselves. Too conspiratorial.
Oh, it's just my problem always comes. I'm a firm believer that there is truth, and I've had conversations before with people who say, "Oh no, there's everything's lies. It's called lies," and I can't comprehend how anyone can live like that with the belief that there is no truth to be had in this world.
Well, flat Earth is the product at the end of that line, isn't it?
Yeah.
If I was a flat earther, I always think this. The first thing I would do is, okay, I want to go and look at the edge.
Yeah.
I wouldn't just keep hanging out and telling people.
Oh, I mean, I think like with flat earthers, just get them a massive, powerful telescope, the type of telescope that we use to look at the moon. Just turn it right, ask if they can see New York. If they can't, go, well...
They kind of proved themselves wrong in their own documentary, but I think it was more... The documentary on Netflix was leading towards that people are tribal and they just like their wee story and hanging out together at the end of the day. They proved themselves wrong in an experiment, but then buried the information.
Flat earthers... I mean, conspiracy is interesting because you've got conspiracy theorists who don't like other conspiracy theories because they think that their conspiracy makes theirs look stupid. So, like, flat earthers won't like people who think that the Queen's a lizard. They go, "Oh, mate, come on!"
People do think that David Icke is a plant from the government to make all conspiracy theorists look stupid.
Just they go, "Oh, come on, mate! At least mine's sensible. Like the Earth flat on a tortoise." Oh no, sorry, that's Discworld. But I don't like conspiracies because I think that conspiracies are a government's best friend.
Oh yeah, definitely. Muddies the water.
Oh yeah, exactly. And I always think, like, is there
the Area 51 raid thing was very coincidental during the Epstein thing as well. Very big timed. They pushed that.
I mean,
like it's not within the realms of silly conspiracies to think that Jeffrey Epstein Hillary Clinton himself.
I don't know what Hillary Clinton themselves is because she's not dead.
Ended up dying, but then it was framed as a suicide.
Yeah, but Hillary Clinton ain't dead.
No, but she bequeaths that to people, apparently. You don't know the Clinton body count? You ever hear that?
Oh.
Is this too conspiracy?
It's just, I mean, it's
just another continent. You're too busy with this news.
Well, no, it just seems too fictional.
It does, doesn't it? It's like X-Files-y shit.
Yeah.
But
well, it's like stuff you'd find in fucking, not even X-Files. This is like a Nick Cage National Treasure type of fucking level of stuff. This is where we're at, you know.
They've talked about that since the 90s, though.
It's
loads of cases.
Like fucking Da Vinci Code. This is where we are. It's so badly written. I can't even consider how it could be true.
It does seem a bit James Bond like all the stuff that goes on, but there have been cases where people have been shot twice in the head and it's been ruled as a suicide, like a Clinton whistleblower.
I'm not. If it's true, then I can't understand how it hasn't come out. Because this is the thing that everyone misses when they talk about conspiracies. No one can keep a secret.
No, yeah.
No one in this world can keep a fucking secret.
But
we can't keep our own secrets.
I'm fairly certain that is talked about and documented.
Yeah, but this would be everywhere. And this is the same with Illuminati and everything else. You think of the thousands of people.
I don't think there's an Illuminati. I think people know what way their bread's buttered naturally.
Oh yeah, certainly. I think that money does corrupt, certainly. But the idea that there's a group of people who run the entire world, mate, you don't.
No, people don't even like their family. Never mind their fucking business partners.
You cannot get everyone to fucking walk on the left.
But I would agree with you with that. But there has to be some truth, as you going back to your statement earlier. There's some truth.
I'm not doubting for a moment that people like Hillary Clinton.
It's just funny to make fun of Hillary Clinton for being a suicide dog.
Once she's when she was in power, or when she was first lady, the idea of her having someone killed not beyond the realms at all. Of course, the idea that they went around and just killed whistleblowers willy-nilly.
This is like over decades. It's not
Yeah,
like
but
a
how?
big
Yeah, but
campaign.
but you get to a point. Even
It's not a big campaign.
yeah, but how many? What we
It's a
talking?
decades long of a career.
Yeah, but
I
how?
think way back when they were in Arkansas and stuff, there were stories like that.
So for say like 40 years, Hillary Clinton has been like a fucking mob boss, and you reckon because you get to a point where you're just not powerful enough.
Yeah.
Like the fucking senator of Arkansas or whatever the fuck they were is not powerful enough to have a wide-reaching fucking net.
Would you not have favours over decades that you can call in? The bin man has favours you can call in for mates.
Oh, but yeah, but there's
Tell me
gonna
about
be-
this.
Sorry?
I want to hear about these bin men.
I've done a great distractionary technique that I haven't done any research on news stories, haven't I? Just throwing a bit of Hillary Hilton.
I mean, you just chucked in one of my pet hates, which is fucking conspiracy theories.
Because here's the thing about conspiracy theories. A lot of the time, it'll be, the government is keeping this secret because it benefits them, and perhaps this illegal thing has happened, and this or something like the CIA is selling crack cocaine in order to get money.
If you have the big bad in your head, like everything leads its way into the story.
But then it's like, okay, plausible, or no proof for that, but maybe. But then, and then it's always a leap of, and that's why Donald Trump has to remain president, because he's sorting it out. Like, sorting out. I don't think Donald Trump ever done a big clean, let alone sorted a whole, country.
On regards to conspiracies, if we're going to go into conspiracies,
If you must.
Number 10 has refused to clear the publication this week of a potentially harmful report examining Russian infiltration in British politics. Now, this is including the Conservative Party. So this seemingly is also against the advice of our security services. Every security service, be it MI5 to GCHQ, they've all ticked it off. This report is ready to go. And so you give Boris Johnson 10 days to read over it, and then it should go out. He had more than 10 days, and now, this week, just before they all went off to lie to everyone around the country, they said, we're not putting it out.
Yeah, I mean, that can only be because it makes him look bad.
Well, this is it. And but before, there was anonymous government sources saying, oh, there's nothing in here. There's nothing in here. It just shows that there's nothing in here. You're going, well, if there's nothing in here, and this is what pisses me off about the fucking journalists as a whole, fuck government sources. In future, anything with government source, ignore. Because that is just Dominic Cummings.
This is also what I always think about on some level, when things are declassified after a certain length of time.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, but it's still a very strange exchange of information. I, who keep all the secrets and lie sometimes because of those secrets to keep you safe, I'm telling you something.
Yeah.
But you've begun by saying you won't tell me things and that you'll lie.
I mean, is that not the argument for that they use for the growth in CCTV and everything else? And I've heard this argument many times going, well, if you've got nothing to hide, mate, you keep secrets. Let us see some shit then. If you've got nothing to hide, you tell me all of your secrets, and then you can fucking see all of mine.
Put as many cameras up in Chelsea as you're putting up in Peckham, and might be a bit fairer then.
Too many white people and rich people in Chelsea. This is the thing. It's much easier. It seemingly doesn't cost as much money to get working class and poor people than to do things like pay their taxes than it does to fucking rich people.
There's an anarchist argument that says it needs to be possible to break the law in order for societal change to occur. So the example would be gay marriage is legal now. When gay sex was illegal, if that had always been 100% enforced and completely impossible, we could never have gotten to a stage where gay marriage is legal now because we can know gay relationships and things. So like, there has to be a point when the government says, well, let's make it. You can break the law a bit.
Yeah.
And where do you decide where that goes?
Oh, that is, I mean, a very interesting argument. The idea of allowing you have to be able to break the law to be able to progress. I mean, it's human flaw will allow it. You would hope, but as you get into more of a
someone just dicks up and then.
Yeah, that's it. They go, or you just miss some stuff, or you hope that as people move into power, you've got some people that aren't utter bellends that will, fucking allow certain things to go. Like when it was gay sex was illegal, had to have been some people who knew that stuff was going on and just kept stum.
Well, that's the thing in the Oscar Wilde trial. MPs did say, why are we not arresting every rent boy in the East End? Why is Oscar Wilde being put on trial?
Oh, yeah, but that's it. If you want to show a bit of strength, you go after fucking the one who's going to give you the biggest...
The offer of importance of being earnest. We'll fucking get him. Him and his lectures on aesthetics. Going around America being catty, saying quips. Well, it was because he perjured himself. Because his lover's father was like disapproved of the relationship and was like printed Oscar Wilde's a homosexual, and then Oscar Wilde, on terrible advice, sued him for libel. And then they were like, sorry man, we've got loads of evidence that you're gay. Like, oh fuck, now I'm going to prison for 2 years and I'm going to die.
Unfortunately, you're balls deep in a boy at the moment. You're not going to be able to get away with this one today.
Poor old Oscar.
Yes. Right, what time are we on?
57.
57? Oh, we didn't get to the one I wanted to talk about because we're going to have to close now.
Let's just extend this one and pretend the Hillary conversation never happened.
Yeah. No, let's close it where we are.
Let's be like Hillary Clinton and pretend it never happened.
I'm just checking.
Right, do you have anything to plug?
No, everything is too far down the pipe to bother plugging.
Do you not run a Monday comedy night?
I don't want people coming to that.
Okay, cool. Do you have anything to plug?
I have a somewhat satirical take on Brexit via the art form of late 80s, early 90s hip-hop coming. So that'll be in the next few weeks, called Bregscore. You can look that up on Instagram and Facebook.
Fantastic. Of course, buy my albums and the news that we didn't get to. The Tories have already... Oh, no, that's about Keir Starmer. We've done that one. Tom Watson has stepped down as MP and Deputy Leader of Labour because anyone who has even the modicum of sense is leaving this sinking ship of politics. Also got Whitehall Spending Watchdog, spoken about that. Manifesto, spoken about that. Spoken about Brexit Party have dropped their red lines about doing a deal with the Tories after they realised that the Tories didn't give a fuck about them. And there was a new study commissioned by the Trussell Trust called The State of Hunger 2019. It has been found that people who have been referred to food banks have an average weekly income of £50 after housing, and 94% face real destitution. Have a read of that. It's very important, and it will make you physically sick. As always, thank you to my guests, and we're done.